Game one of the Canadian Senior Men's Baseball Championship here in Regina at Currie Field already produced our first upset, with Team Saskatchewan downing at the two-time reigning champions from Quebec 4-3. What will game number two bring us? It's a battle of Ontario 2, the Etobicoke Rangers, and a bit of an anomaly. They're representing New Brunswick, but they are the Charlottetown Islanders. Dan Esty alongside Peter Loubardias for game two, the first matchup. So if you can, share for our viewers at home how Charlottetown represents New Brunswick.
So a few years ago, the Charlottetown club entered into the New Brunswick Senior League. There's not enough teams on the island for them to enter into a senior league there. So they've been in the New Brunswick Senior League now for a few years. They are the two-time defending champions of that league as they look to try and win a third title this year after they return home from Regina, as the playoffs will be starting up there. So a very strong club, good group of guys. I have some very strong pickups here with them, so I'm sure they're, after a very, very long trip that saw them winding everywhere across North America, including a trip down to the States, I think they're very, very happy to be here today.
Yes, just in case you didn't notice in our world, travel became a little challenging due to one particular company, which will remain unnamed for the rest of the weekend. So it is the Etobicoke Rangers who finished second at the Ontario Elimination or Provincial Championships earlier this year in the Windsor area. They are in the field, and their starting pitcher is number 25, Andrew Hyde. And Dan, he's really been their workhorse all year long.
Andrew has had a number of good seasons. I would say particularly his last 2 or 3 seasons, he has been very strong for them. Comes into this one with a 7-0 record, I believe, off his league play as well as tournament starts. So expect a very good outing from Andrew. Good fastball, good slider type of pitcher. Definitely loves to change speeds and keep batters off balance.
Facing the leadoff batter, Simon Dubois, the left fielder, who's having a very good year in the New Brunswick Senior Men's League, batting .438 with 3 doubles, 2 home runs, and 13 runs batted in. This one on the ground to Ryan Pennis, who will race over to retire Dubois for out number 1.
Yeah, good play there by Panis. He's able to track down that ground ball. We're going to see in the replay here, ground ball by Dubois, and it's going to be a foot race to the bag, and the veteran Panis able to beat him by about half a step for the first out here in the top of the first inning.
Kyle Bowers behind home plate is Andrew Hyde's battery mate. David Boato at third. Michael Ferracuti is the shortstop. Second baseman is Mark Capone, a good buddy of the gentleman to my right. And at first, we just mentioned him, is Ryan Panis. Alex Thrower in center, Eric Thrower in left, Dan Francischetti is in right. That's the defense. And the batter is center fielder Jack Kraft. Facing Andrew Hyde. Jack's a 31-year-old from Cornwall, Prince Edward Island, batting .333 with the Charlottetown Islanders. During the season, 3 doubles, a triple, 2 home runs, and 8 runs batted in. He's 7th in the league in batting average.
Yeah, Kraft, one of their big offensive threats, able to set the table in most cases for them, and certainly a workhorse for them in the field as well.
I like to ask this when I know there is absolutely a ton of knowledge, which you have on all these teams. Give me a bit of a scouting report, if you can, on Hyde.
Like I said before, Hyde, usually very good control, though, even though we see the walk there, so hopefully it wasn't the broadcaster's jinx there, but usually very good control, good fastball, good slider, loves to change speeds, a couple of speeds on that off-speed stuff as well. So look for him to be very sharp, usually around the zone quite a bit, and definitely going to keep these Charlottetown bats on guard today as well.
Fastball to the number 3 hitter, 23-year-old Fredericton product, Max Grant. who hit .357 at last year's Canadian Championships in Tecumseh, Ontario. He was 5 for 14 with a couple of doubles.
Max, a great player as he puts a charge into that one. That's going to
Grant drives it. It is gone. Max Grant, a 2-run home run, our first home run at this park of the Canadian Senior Men's Championship. And the Charlottetown Islanders, representing New Brunswick, jump into an early 2-0 lead.
Max Grant put an absolute charge into that pitch as he was able to get the hands out and put that one up on the hill in right field, and didn't get a chance to get the words out of my mouth here. As we see on the replay, he puts an absolute charge into that one. Franchischetti has to look up in right field, but that is up on the hill as you see there, and Team New Brunswick off to a 2-0 lead here early in this one.
So New Brunswick, thanks to the Max Grant home run, he has 6 home runs during the league season. And this one is hit pretty well, too, into a gap off the bat of Nick McPhail, and it's going to make its way to the wall. McPhail's going to get the wave, and he'll slide in safely with a 1-out triple.
And I'll tell you, this Charlottetown team here, we're going to see the swing here by McPhail in the replay here as he starts to make his ways around the bases here on the triple. But this Charlottetown team can hit, and teams that take them lightly, they could surprise a lot of teams here. They hit the ball well last year in Tecumseh and are certainly showing right now that they can be offensive threats at the plate here again this year in Regina.
Nick McPhail follows up the 2-run home run of Max Grant with a triple. Does not have a triple this season, where he's hit .411 in the New Brunswick League with 7 doubles, a homer, and 20 runs batted in. He was 0 for 4 at last year's Canadian Championship. So, Dan, a great way for McPhail to start 2025.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And Hyde trying to work his way out of a tough top of the first inning that has seen New Brunswick score twice. And the batter is Duncan Picketts, the right fielder, the 23-year-old from Kensington, PEI. Was 5 for 12 at last year's tournament with 2 doubles, a home run, and 3 runs batted in. In fact, he had hits in his last 3 consecutive games in Tecumseh. And a good fastball that tailed away, swung on and missed by Picketts, who was hitting .325 in league play with a home run and 13 runs batted in.
And a couple of healthy hacks there from Picketts, both coming up empty, but again, a good fastball from Hyde. Like I said, that's one of the pitches that he's going to be relying on all day.
And Andrew asking if that pitch was up. Middle infield is by and large back, a little bit in. And Picketts draws a 1-out walk, the second free pass that Hyde has given up, and we're going to get a visit from the skipper.
And again, with the infield setup right now, I mean, early in the game, yeah, you're down 2-0. You got runners on the corners now. You do have 1 out. So no time to panic here right now. Etobicoke's been in some tough games this year that they've played. You got a very solid middle infield with Mark Capone at second, as well as Mike Ferracuti playing at shortstop. So right now you keep them back at double play depth. You look for your ground ball here from your pitcher, and hopefully you can get out of this inning without any further damage.
For absolute sure. The batter, number 40, Logan McDougall, the second baseman from Summerside, PEI. 1 for 6 at last year's Canadians was Logan, who takes a breaking ball in the inner half for a strike. Logan is no stranger to Saskatchewan. He played in Yorkton in the then WMBL, now WCBL, for 2 years in 2018 and 2019. And this is well struck, the left, And it goes off the glove of Eric Thrower. And that's going to allow McPhail to score easily from third, and will await the official scoring. And New Brunswick, represented by the Charlottetown Islanders and a couple of helpers, have a 3-0 lead.
We'll have a look at this. This is a tough play here, as we see on the replay. Thrower making a run back to the corner, and sounds like the scoring here in the stadium is that it is a hit, which I would agree with. So that's an RBI double for Logan McDougall and extends the Team New Brunswick lead now to 3-0.
A wonderful start for New Brunswick. First baseman Josh Myers. And still only one out with runners at second and third. Josh is a 25-year-old from Summerside, hitting .303 in the New Brunswick Senior League. Josh was 2 for 12 at last year's Canadians. On one hop to Capone, knocked it down, but it'll score the run from third. And Myers has his first run batted in of the 2025 Canadians. He had a run batted in last year in Tecumseh.
We get a look inside the PEI dugout here with lots of high fives early as they're able to get the offense rolling early in this one. Good play there by Capone, as we're going to see here on the replay. McDougall puts that one, Myers puts that one in play. Knocked down by the veteran second baseman, throws on to first to retire Myers there, but that is an RBI ground out, as Peter said, and extends the lead now to 4-0.
Catcher Cole McLaren, the 28-year-old from Morel PEI, and he had a very solid Canadian championship in a tournament where this team, and there's a lot of players, Dan, back from a year ago, went 2-2 in the round robin. They did not find their way into one of the 6 playoff spots, and good work to stay with it by Panis to finally end the inning. But a great beginning for New Brunswick. They score 4, and Etobicoke's got some work to do as they'll come to bat on day 1 of the Canadian Senior Men's Baseball Championship. Imagine a little wind in Regina. Not the first time, trust me. As a very proud person from the province of Saskatchewan who spent about 6 years of my 1,000-year career in this town, 6 of the best years of my career without a doubt, and New Brunswick leading the Etobicoke Rangers, Ontario 2, if you will, 4-0 as they come to bat. And the starting pitcher, who you see on your screen, is 25-year-old from St. John, New Brunswick, Hayden Dow, and he is a member of the St. John Alpines.
Hayden, really good pitcher, just joined the Alpines club this year after some time down south playing there. Very, very good fastball, good control of his stuff. This Etobicoke lineup definitely going to be a challenge for him, though, today, as they can hit the ball a ton, just like
just like that.
Just like you see from Alex Thrower with that single to center field.
First pitch, and sometimes we talk about the broadcaster curse. How about the broadcaster helping hand,
hey,
Mr. Esty?
We finally got one in for them.
So the 30-year-old Thrower has a base hit, and before I could even tell you that Hayden Dow's 4-4 this year in league play and 48 2/3. Here's a number that stands out. He has 80 strikeouts.
Like I said, very plus stuff from Hayden Dow. Good fastball, good off-speed pitches, and controls both sides of the plate very well.
Eric Thrower is the batter, the left fielder. He's 27 years of age. And is it fair to assume that there might be a relation?
Yes, they are brothers.
That's what I would have thought, but I always want to make sure. You never know. Could be a cousin. He's had a really good year at home plate. He's hit .383 overall with a home run and 12 runs batted in. As Eric Thrower, the 27-year-old, he's also a more than capable pitcher.
Yes, has a few innings for Etobicoke on the mound this year as well. I don't know if that will factor into anything here at the national championships, but certainly very capable there for sure.
As Dow goes over to deal with Alex Thrower, who I'm certain would run very, very well.
Yes, not a knock on Alex. He does have a little bit of power, but I would say Eric's got the power in the family, and certainly Thrower a threat to steal bases every single time that he's on the base paths.
Oh, a bunt. It went off him. Was he still in the box?
It is being called foul. Yep, in the box. That's a good call.
It is indeed. Eric went to school in Kentucky at Georgetown College. That's an NAIA school. Hit .303 there in a career that ended in 2021. And my goodness, he's a big reason they're here. He had 4 multi-hit games, if I'm not mistaken, at the Ontario Elimination Tournament.
He did. He had an exceptional weekend in Windsor that weekend, and one of the big offensive leaders for this team for sure.
And excellent downward movement on that pitch from Dow. We talked about his 80 strikeouts in league play. He has his first of the Canadian Championship.
See a pitch there, and that's that good slider from Hayden Dow. Bottom just drops right out of that over the inside portion of the plate and induces a swing and a miss there from Eric Thrower for out number 1.
34-year-old Ryan Panis. The Etobicoke Rangers have been a great program, Dan, for a long time, haven't they?
It's funny, when I was doing my work in Windsor at the national qualifying tournament, I will say I know teams have alumnus group and stuff like that follow them, but I was quite impressed by the group of alumni that followed this team, that supported them to get here to Regina, and just, this goes all the way back to their former head coach Steve Breitner, who passed away a few years ago. He created that sense of family within the team, and Mark Capone talked about that on our last podcast, how it was so important to Steve that he wanted to have players there to play the game, but he wanted to have families involved in that process as well, and that was something that was very important to him. So pretty cool to see the amount of following that they have, and I know people like Mike Gauthier watching from Wisconsin right now, and people that have played for them, some former Jays farmhands, and Warren Sockyu and Greg O'Halloran that are probably tagging along too. So great group of people.
Another look like slider from Dow is Ryan Panis, who's had a very good year for those Etobicoke Rangers, goes down swinging for out number 2. I even have a couple of friends who were pretty good young players who came up through the Etobicoke system. This is well hit off the bat of designated hitter Hunter Bisser, and when it's all said and done, we're going to have runners at second and third. Good heads-up running by Bisser on the throw to third to move up a base.
And we just saw this in the last game. Teams that are taking advantage of first pitch fastballs and jumping on them early, as we see a diving attempt there by the shortstop for Team New Brunswick, Justin Cormier, as that one gets into center field. But, being able to attack that first pitch and go after something you're going to be able to handle, now you're forcing the pitcher to have to play a little bit of a game of cat and mouse with you, where now you're going to have to start to pitch backwards a little bit and trust your stuff.
So 2 out after taking a 4-0 lead, an opportunity for this solid hitting Etobicoke team to come right back and start to chip away at the deficit. Shortstop Michael Ferracuti, the batter. He's 34 years of age, .330 the batting average on the year, 5 doubles, a triple, a home run, and 17 runs batted in. And he'd love a base hit right here.
Absolutely. Good scoring chance here for the Etobicoke Rangers after giving up 4 in the top half. They have a pair of runners in scoring position here now for the shortstop Ferracuti, so definitely looking to see if they can try and chip back into this lead now.
As Dow looks in to get the sign and misses away. As Cole McLaren jumps out to make sure the ball does not elude him. Great to have you with us, no matter where you might be looking on this Thursday opening day of the Canadian Senior Men's Championship. And there is a whale of a block that very likely saves a run.
For sure, and I mean, for Cole, having Hayden as a pickup on this team, I'm sure, Cole obviously hasn't caught Hayden before, so they'll be working out a few kinks here early on in this one, but great block there by Cole to keep the runners where they are. I'll tell you, certainly has that slider working for him so far here early in this one.
Yeah, and there's been great downward movement on a lot of them as well. Led to a couple of strikeouts. Does he have another in him? On the ground, Max Grant, who has hit a tote run homer in the game, made a strong throw to end the threat. New Brunswick, primarily made up of Charlottetown Islanders, have a 4-0 lead after one on day one of the Canadian Senior Men's Baseball Championship.
Hey guys, Donnie with Extreme Hockey and Umbrella Marketing Solutions. Really excited to throw this video that we have partnered with the National Baseball Championships that are hosted in Regina. As you know, we love getting behind our community and supporting these kind of events. This is just an absolute honor to be a part of this championship.
Stop in at 1425 McIntyre Street in Regina. We will have sales on all weekend. I will also be kicking around at the event for a few days, so if you have any questions about team, corporate gear, pull me aside and let's have a chat.
A special thanks to all of our sponsors. They have done an amazing job, Dan, here in Regina, the local committee putting this together. I have 2 words to describe it. First, class.
Absolutely. We're only into game number 2 for us here at Curry Field, but it's, to the Regina Trappers organization, Nolan DeZodel and Matt Miller and all the folks there, it's just been fantastic, the hospitality here so far.
Just terrific in the process to get here. And it was a very nervous last week for organizers and broadcasters, I might add, thanks to some travel concerns. But we're all here and we're playing, and it all came together. Justin Cormier leading things off for New Brunswick as they sent 8 batters to the plate and scored 4 runs in the top of the first inning. Cormier, a 32-year-old from St. Anne de Kent, New Brunswick, which, if you are not familiar, and I shouldn't even start when you think about who's sitting beside me, but what is it, about almost a split in your home province of French and English?
Very close to that, yes, very close.
Tough chopper, big bounder, and staying with it is Mark Capone to make a good play for out number 1.
Yeah, good play there. We're going to get a look at this one on the replay from Cappy. Real high bouncer here, but he's able to get in and cut it off, and good throw to Ryan Panis at first base as Justin Cormier is retired here for the first out in the top of the second inning.
Simon Dubois. And depending on where he's from out there, it could be Simone.
Yeah, Justin plays his senior baseball with the Moncton Mets. That one fouled off at the plate, catches a piece of the umpire, so catcher Kyle Bauer is going to go for a walk, give him a second as Dubois has a chuckle with the umpire to make sure he's okay.
Yeah, Dubois had a great year. He's hitting .438. 2 home runs, 13 runs batted in. He grounded out to first baseman Ryan Panis to start the game. Our second of 4 games will bring you 4 every day until we crown a champion here at the Canadian Senior Men's Baseball Championships, which means I should be without voice by about Saturday morning.
We'll keep you hydrated.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, my friend. Pitch from Hyde, trying to settle in. It has never failed to amaze me in this sport. Matter of fact, in any pitching sport where if you're going to get to good people, it usually needs to be early.
Absolutely. And we talked about that in the Saskatchewan-Quebec game that, one of the big things for Saskatchewan, who ended up pulling off the upset that game 4-3, you have to get the pitching early. And good pitching, is always good pitching until you get a little bit of pressure on you. And then that really tests their fortitude at that point. And obviously we're seeing that same thing here now from Team New Brunswick as they've already put up 4 in the first off Etobicoke starter Andrew Hyde. And, they're going to try and see if they can build on that from here.
I believe Manitoba is in the win column because there are games going on all day at Optimus Park.
That's correct.
As well. This on a couple of hops. Ferracuti in plenty of time to get Dubois, who, if he is from Moncton, I'm going to guarantee you it's probably Simone, not Simon.
No, it is Simon.
It is Simon?
Yeah, Simon's from the island. Yeah.
Okay, he is from the island.
Yeah.
Correct.
So we get a good look there. Ferracuti across the diamond to Panis for the second out here. Good play there from the veteran shortstop.
Well, you never know with an English first name and a French last name and being from out there, period. One never knows. Jack Kraft, I know that he walked and scored on a Max Grant 2-run home run, which really kick-started the New Brunswick machine. And it was a no-doubter from Grant.
Oh, yeah. Up on the middle of the hill. Just a great swing from the youngster Grant.
Hyde, a strike swung on and missed by Kraft. Jack's 31 years of age. Hitting .333 in his league this year. He hit .506 for the Charlottetown Islanders. He was an all-star in 2024 and might be on his road to that again.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of leagues still after this tournament will finish up with playoffs, and this isn't it for everybody here.
No. All the Ontario leagues have now finished. They're in the books. The Manitoba leagues, they have finished as well. They're done. The only thing left in Saskatchewan is the Qu'Appelle Valley League. Their final has to go between the Regina Trappers and Regina Rockies. And then we have everything out east that's going to be happening for their playoffs as well.
A great bounce back inning for Andrew Hyde. 1-2-3 goes New Brunswick, but they still lead it 4-0 here at Curry Field on a windy Thursday in Regina. The Etobicoke Rangers, who lost out to the Ontario champion Leaside Leafs. And I'm not sure that they were on everybody's bingo card to win the Ontario Elimination Tournament, but they did.
They had a great run through that weekend, go 6-1 to win the Ontario Championship this year. And a little bit of a rough start for them. They opened up this morning at Optimist against Team Manitoba, and Team Manitoba coming out on that one with a 12-2 win. Brandon Hatley picking up the win for Manitoba in that game as he goes 6 strong innings, allowing 2 runs on 5 hits. And Jorge Fragoni, the veteran right-hander for Leaside, takes the loss in that one.
I don't believe we'll see Leaside until Saturday at this park.
I believe so, yeah. They got 2 games today. I think the second one also at Optimist, and then their Friday game also there as well.
David Boato, the 23-year-old from Vaughan, leading things off for Etobicoke, batting .324 on the year, 8 doubles, 15 runs batted in. He will pitch as well. I'm not sure he's going to pitch at the Canadian Championship, but he does in league play.
Yeah, there's a few bodies that are like that with Etobicoke, that they have done some pitching, but they picked up a few bodies to bring to this tournament, and they had their few arms that they use regularly as well. So definitely for sure. I mean, they're you never say never, I guess, but there's definitely a few arms I think that are in line before a few of the guys that could end up on the mound.
Hayden Dow continues to work, was able to get himself out of a jam. As Etobicoke left runners at third and second in the bottom of the first inning. Up the middle, a base hit for Boato. And a good way to begin for the Rangers.
Absolutely. Good piece of hitting there by David. Stays back on that slider right up the gut into center field for a leadoff single here, and has the Rangers rolling here in the bottom half of the second inning.
Right fielder, 34-year-old Dan Francischetti. This guy spent 3 years in the Inter-County League, playing for Burlington, which is a very good league.
Having a great year at the plate for Etobicoke, another one of those offensive leaders. I believe he has 14 doubles this year.
He does, 14 doubles, 3 home runs, 29 runs batted in, and a .364 batting average. Down by 4. And fouls it back to the screen. Boato, leadoff base hit. He's talking about Francischetti, a strength and conditioning coach at Elite Training Systems in Vaughan.
Yes, sir. Good pitch there from Dow.
And guess which one again?
Might be that slider that he's been throwing for a while.
That one. Third strikeout. And again, it just absolutely, as you'll take another peek, drops right off the table.
Mm-hmm. And again, we talked about this morning, making adjustments. So Mark Capone at the plate here now for the Rangers. He's their number 9 hitter. Kyle Bowers at the plate now. My apologies. Capone's on deck. But as we get through the order the first time here, it's making adjustments to what you see from a pitcher. And again, everything's new to everyone here at this tournament. It's arms that you haven't seen all year. So now after that first time through, now you have to make those adjustments to these pitchers and kind of what they're going, their go-to pitches.
And Dan, in terms of pitching, velocity is one thing,
Mm-hmm.
but movement, location, and I'll add this one, late movement, so critical, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I mean, I pitched for close to 18 years, nowhere near the level that these guys are, but having that location, having that ability to change speeds on your off-speed stuff, or we talked about this morning, having that hard slider versus the soft slider, and different things like that, all that messes with a batter's timing. And the more that you're able to do that throughout the course of a game, the more they have to kind of guess when they're at the plate and kind of figure out how they're going to get on base.
Kyle Bowers, the batter, .357 his average on the year. 4 doubles, 19 runs batted in. Big hopper stepping on the bag. Pivoting and a double play in a bit of an odd manner. But excellent work at short by Justin Cormier to pull it off, and well worth another peek.
Yeah, I don't think Cormier thought he was going to have a play there as he stepped on second. I think he just kind of had to get his bearings where he was, but you see there on the replay, kind of double pumped and able to get the throw on to first and retire Bowers by about half a step for the inning-ending double play.
There's some quality two-step performances in the Prairies on a dance floor. You're welcome. Justin Cormier, you just showed that you belong. We're through 2 in Game 2 here today of the Canadian Senior Men's Championship. For 4-0 New Brunswick, a team made up of mostly Charlottetown Islanders, who are the league leaders again in the New Brunswick Senior Men's Baseball League. Not enough teams in PEI have a senior league, as Mr. Esty. I call him Mr. Senior Baseball in Canada, and for good reason. Dan, can't thank you enough as someone who loves amateur sports and being involved for all the incredible work that you have done in this world.
Yeah, it's been 3 years now rolling for the CABC, and it's been a good ride so far. We're certainly trying to build year by year as we go here, but certainly like the direction that we're taking right now.
Well, Max Grant, who has a 2-run home run, was just hit by a pitch to begin the 3rd inning.
And a few nerves for Hyde right now. You can tell just, trying to get settled in still. Had that good 2nd inning. And try and build on that here now. And Grant takes off for second base. Throw down from Bowers on time.
On time indeed, and Ferracuti with an excellent tag to get Grant. And maybe the type of play, Dan, to turn the momentum in the game a little bit.
Absolutely. We'll get a peek here on replay, but we see Grant going into second, and good pickup there by Ferracuti, able to get the tag down in time, and what a throw by catcher Kyle Bowers there to get the first out there in the inning.
And here's what you don't see a lot of, and we haven't made mention of it today. Not a lot of left-handed catchers in this sport, but Bowers is just that.
No, and, excellent pop time behind the plate. Great receiver. Works well with his pitching staff, and just an all-around great guy, too. I played against Kyle for a number of years playing in the Coba Major Baseball League, and, super guy to be around.
Nick McPhail, the batter. He tripled his first time up and scored. Yeah, I heard somebody say the iPad has gotten too hot, and as somebody says that, mine is getting awfully warm, and I need it for the rest of the day. We'd function without it, but it's better to have it. Clark Monroe, our tremendous producer, said that he would provide an ice box. Clark, there's only one place where an ice box would be really required down there, and that's close to your terribly injured knee. Ball pulled foul by McPhail. Clark was asking if there might be some refreshments in the ice box. Mine would have Coke Zeros in them, so if that doesn't work for you, I apologize. All right, enough of inside baseball. Literally, there's the 42-year-old Capone showing off a great set of hands to record out number 2.
That's quite the pickup by Cappy there. We'll see it up in the replay here from center field, but on his backhand shorthand and able to get it off in lots of time there to retire Nick McPhail at first base for the second out here in the top of the third.
One of the best defensive plays we've seen early in this Canadian Senior Men's Championship.
Absolutely. Guy that's been around the block for a while. He's only played just 21 years of senior ball. That's it.
And thanks to your story that you shared with me at dinner a couple of weeks ago, there's a gentleman in the sport who's been quite successful that has a lot of pretty good things to say about Mr. Capone.
Yeah, so growing up, Mark was very good friends with someone that might be in the Hall of Fame soon, Joey Votto. Everyone's followed Joey's career in the MLB and just, how super of a person he is and just a great personality. And I still remember one game I was watching, I got sent the clip, and he had done an interview in Cincinnati. And when asked who his favorite player was, he responded with Mark Capone. So the reporter looked very confused with that answer, asking who Mark Capone was. So now that we have this stream up and going, you're all getting a look at probably one of the best defensive players in the men's AAA level across the country right now.
Well, that is some attribute.
For sure.
He wouldn't have been the only reporter or broadcaster that might have fallen over based on that result. Check swing, Hyde, and he can fire it over there. Absolutely. And that's what he had to do to get Duncan Pickett. So Hyde with a 1-2-3 inning, his first, well, not quite 1-2-3. He got a little help on a great throw from the catcher. But he only faced 3 batters, and it remains 4-0 New Brunswick here at Curry Field on day number 1 of the Canadian Senior Men's Baseball Championship. We saw his mastery and a great play at second. We know that he's Joey Votto's favorite player. And now we get a chance to watch Mark Capone, the 42-year-old from Mississauga, bat. And he's pretty good at that still. 341 on the year, 2 doubles, 18 runs batted in. And a first pitch strike from left-hander Hayden Dow.
Cap's one of those guys that he uses the whole field, but I would say his office is out in left center field, where I'm pretty sure he's probably hit about 26 doubles off me in my career over the time playing against him.
Would you suggest that he has a fairly high baseball IQ?
You know what? Like his not just his IQ, but his personality around the game, and he probably has one of the best eyes I've seen in my whole career, every level of baseball included. Knows the strike zone very well, and very protective at the plate when he needs to be. So,
Well, Capone trying to start things in a positive way for his Etobicoke Rangers, who finished second at the Ontario Elimination Tournament in the first weekend of the month. It's not a lot of turnaround time between then and getting yourself set, travel, and everything that goes hand in hand with making your way to Regina, which both Etobicoke and Leaside had to do.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of fundraising time there either.
No, and it's you get a little bit of money from the sporting body, obviously, with Baseball Ontario, but yeah, for sure, there's a lot of time, a lot of effort that has to go in there, and obviously probably a little bit of money coming out of pockets too. So I know both these teams were very well taken care of by alumni. I know especially the Etobicoke alumni really supportive of the boys that were coming here, which is good.
Well, that's fantastic. Their favorite team is down by 4, but lots of game to work with. Full count pitch on the way to Mark Capone.
That's about as good a piece of a hit you can get right there.
That's apparently what he does. On cue again. Takes the pitch off Hayden Dow, back up the middle for a leadoff single. His team's 4th hit of the game.
And we see the replay coming through there. Just a good job by Cap. Just hands back, drive up the middle. And able to get the leadoff man aboard here for Etobicoke as they again trying to chip into this early 4-0 lead from Team New Brunswick. We're back to the top of the order now, though, so everyone's had a chance to see Dow now once. And we'll see what the Rangers can do here now.
And New Brunswick scored all 4 of those innings in the top of the first. 2 of them off the bat of Max Grant, who hit a long home run to right field. A 2-run shot to really get the ball rolling, literally.
Alex Thrower, good day so far with a 1-for-1 going on with a single.
Breaking ball. And a lot of O's in the crowd. Feeling that maybe that might have been a strike.
Very close, very close.
But as I talk about, there's only one vote in the whole park that matters.
That's not us.
And that's not us, and that's not the fans. Stepping on second for one, and the turn. He did hang on long enough. A double play as Logan McDougall steps on second and then relays it over to get Thrower at first.
And again, we talk about, offense obviously important at these tournaments, but defense just as important. We see a great play by Logan as he makes his way up the middle, steps on second, throws on to first, and just like that, a leadoff single erased, and we have 2 outs now here in the bottom half of the third.
It would be interesting to take a look statistically at even, a 5 to 10 year window.
Mm-hmm.
The team that commits the fewest errors, where they end up at the end of these kind of tournaments,
right.
And I'm going to bet a lot of them end up in very good places. Dan, I couldn't agree with you more. I don't think that's talked about enough in these situations.
For sure, and I mean, they say pitching and defense is part of the biggest keys, and I mean, obviously you have to hit the baseball and get runs, but, your offense usually keys in off your defense, and, the more defensive plays that you get it's certainly going to help your team get into that right mind frame at the plate for sure.
Eric Thrower, the batter, he struck out versus Hayden Dow. And tries to go backdoor with that breaking ball, but misses. And would have to believe this is the first time that Dow and McLaren, the catcher, have worked together.
I would believe that would be correct.
And that's not always easy.
Nope.
Again, tried to backhand it off his leg, and if you were a football player, that would be a heck of a play to shovel it to a running back. Hayden Dow, I can't wait to watch that again. Went to backhand it, hit the back of his leg, and then watch the bullet at the end that he delivers. Zip to get Eric Thrower. That's one I'll put in the memory bank for a while. A double play and an interesting one by the pitcher. It remains 4-0 New Brunswick here in Regina.
Hey guys, Donnie with Extreme Hockey and Umbrella Marketing Solutions. Really excited to throw this video that we have partnered with the National Baseball Championships that are hosted in Regina. As you know, we love getting behind our community and supporting these kind of events. This is just an absolute honor to be a part of this championship.
Stop in at 1425 McIntyre Street in Regina. We will have sales on all weekend. I will also be kicking around at the event for a few days, so if you have any questions about team, corporate gear, pull me aside and let's have a chat.
It remains 4-0 New Brunswick, made up mostly of Charlottetown Islanders. Logan McDougall, who turned a double play defensively, 4 unassisted, over to first on the ground. Boato, little bit of a tester for Panis over at first to record out number 1. So not exactly how David would have wanted it for his first baseman, but it does get the job done.
Yeah, good play there, Boato. Good pickup, and pretty sure that was his first play of the game, so probably just working out the kinks there early, but either way, able to get it over in time. Panis supplies the tag, and we got 1 out.
Little tap dance by Panis over at first.
He was also doing some tapping last night as he was part of the home run derby here. Managed to be one of 4 players that did get 1 ball out of the park in the first round.
Josh Myers, the batter, he has driven in a run in the game, a ground out to second. Brought home one of the 4 New Brunswick runs. Already, I would say, a somewhat sizable upset today, as the 2-time defending champions from Quebec, somewhat controversially at the end, I might add, losing 4-3 to Saskatchewan, one of the 2 Saskatchewan teams, the focal team and the host of the tournament, and the 2-time silver medalists, the Regina Trappers, will make their tournament debut tonight at 7 or thereabouts against Nova Scotia. Long fly, and taking a few steps back is Eric Thrower. And there's 2 down in the 4th. 3-hour time slot for 7 innings. Generally right in about the proper wheelhouse to get things done.
Yeah, it usually takes about 2 hours for a game, give or take, and obviously you can have extra innings involved in that as well, but
Andrew Hyde is settled in after a difficult first, facing catcher Cole McLaren, who popped up in foul territory to first baseman Ryan Panis, and that off the end of Cole's bat to the screen. Cole's done a really nice job behind home plate.
Mm-hmm.
Blocked a couple of balls to, in one case, save a run. The 28-year-old from Morel PEI, as Hyde misses with a fastball and says, that one's on me.
Good 0-2 waste pitch there for Hyde down in the zone. See if he can get McLaren to chase there, but he's able to hold up his swing.
Literally a cue ball off the end of the bat that Hyde picks up. He has absolutely settled in. 1-2-3 goes New Brunswick. Etobicoke to bat, down by 4, heading to the bottom of the 4th here in Regina. At the plate. The Etobicoke Rangers trailing by 4, opening game of the Canadian Championships for both these two teams. And a big top of the first, Dan, the reason that Etobicoke finds themselves down by 4.
Yeah, we talked about it in the opener, and we talked about it in this one. You know, quick starts to teams always puts the opponent back on their heels, and certainly we saw that this morning with Saskatchewan getting an early lead on Quebec, and New Brunswick doing the same thing here as they jumped out to a 4-0 lead. The big 2-run home run, obviously, from Max Grant, as well as a couple of other hits to drive in a couple of runs. So a little bit of a hole here for the Rangers, but certainly have the offense to be able to deal with things here, and Ryan Panis going to get things going in the bottom of the 4th.
Hitting .279 on the year, 5 doubles, 2 home runs, 24 runs batted in. He struck out versus Hayden Dow in inning number 1.
Yeah, Panis, one of those veteran guys, and is the last couple of years Ryan's not playing time, but his time that he's been available to play has decreased. But he still continues to put out some great offensive numbers, and is certainly one of the veteran leaders on this team as well.
Swing and a miss, and Dow gets him again. That looked like a sweeper.
Yeah,
the left-hander.
He's had that good slider going, and that one, and just tails away from Panis there, and he comes up empty on the swing and down on strikes for the second time today for the first out here in the bottom of the 4th.
Strikeout number 4 for Dow in the game, who pitches regularly for the St. John Alpines. And a big swing and a miss by Hunter Bisser, who has singled already in the game, the 27-year-old. Interesting, just to get back to Panis for a minute, he was named to the Etobicoke Rangers All-Decade team in 2020 for his work with them for a long time.
Certainly been one of their guys for a number of years, him and Cap both.
Big chopper again. Great work to just get to that ball by McDougall, but no opportunity to make a play at first, and Bisser is 2 for 2 on the afternoon.
We see that play here now, and again, it's amazing to see, and we've talked about the wind a little bit today. That ball, when that took that hop up in the air, it looked like it might have blown left a little bit on that high chop, and infield are able to get to it for Team New Brunswick, but unfortunately unable to make the play at first, so Bisser going to reach with one out here.
Not as warm here today as it had been the last couple of days. So infields tend to get a little harder and bouncier, if you will, in hot weather.
That's right.
We've seen a couple of big hops. They do a great job, and they always have here at Curry Field. Michael Ferracuti, the batter, the Etobicoke shortstop, who grounded out to Max Grant over at third, his first time today. And I would guess that the message, it generally is that you can't get it all back at once.
No, it's one of those things where you have to kind of station to station baseball, and you just kind of keep moving people around and get the bat on the ball and get the other team involved in the game. And, you talked about already, Dow has 4 strikeouts today. But, the more you're putting the ball in play, the more pressure you put on the other team to be able to make those plays and get those outs.
It's Ferracuti trying to put some hits together for his group. That's also what can help you rally back. Need runners. Might have one here and will, as this will fall in front of Jack Kraft out in center, and back-to-back base hits for the Rangers.
And we'll see on the replay coming up here, good piece of hitting from Ferracuti, inside-out swing, and drops that ball into kind of right center field in front of Jack Kraft. Hunter Bisser makes his way to second, so we have runners at first and second now, 1 out. And we have third baseman David Boato making his way to the plate.
Boato singled in his only appearance. Blocked by McLaren, he'll make the throw. It's not in time, and it was close.
I'm sure we're going to have a peek at that one on the monitor here from the boys, but ball just skips away a little bit. Here we see Bisser taking off, and that was about as close as you can get at third base right there, but it looked like he might have just had his hand under the tag there.
McLaren did a great job to jump out of the box, grab it with a bare hand, and he threw a strike over to third, not quite in time.
Great throw right on the money, but
look at him again.
Again,
he has done a wonderful job blocking balls.
Not too often you see a catcher block a ball, and it's the pitcher hustling in off the mound to go get that ball for him. And
I know what league that wouldn't happen in. You don't need more than one guesses. It might start with an M. There's a strike. And interesting, too, the way certain catchers, and even in the majors, a lot of times they have one knee down now, which I know I'm old school, but I don't always love it. Boato, this will bring in a run. Cormier, high throw, gets away. And the Rangers have their first run, and they have New Brunswick in some trouble.
We'll get a look at this replay of that play. Last play here is going to be an E6 on the shortstop, Cormier. Ground ball here hit. Cormier has to range to his right. Long throw across the diamond. You see a high throw there. Gets away from the first baseman, McPhail. And over by the Team New Brunswick dugout. So we have runners on the corners now with still one out. And again, we talk about it that, you know, you put the ball in play, you make the other team make mistakes. And right now, Etobicoke doing a good job of getting the ball in play here as Coach J.P. Stevenson going to make a trip out to the mound to kind of calm down the pitcher here and get the defense back in alignment. But, you know, another really good opportunity here for the Rangers to kind of chip their way back into this. Now runners at the corners and one out.
Cormier was really deep back there at shortstop. That was a difficult play to make, and the throw sailed on him just a little.
It's tough if you think about it because, again, you look at the flags out in right center field, and, you know, they're blowing over to left. So that throw he's throwing into the wind, and it's obviously a tough play in the hole as it is to begin with.
Franciscetti, Dan the batter. Runners at the corners. Etobicoke on the board with a run here in the bottom of the fourth and threatening to add.
Two good pitches there from Hayden Dow, though, as he bounces back and has Franciscetti in an 0-2 hole here.
He'd love a ground ball at second or short if he could get one. Strikeout he wouldn't mind, and he didn't miss one by very much on that pitch.
No, that one just misses the outside corner. And, again, that's a really good 0-2 pitch there. You know, something handy to the zone, see if you can get the batter to chase, but just missed the outside corner.
The slider again, and it freezes Dan Franciscetti for strikeout number 5.
And again, good slider here from Dow. We're going to get a look at this from behind the mound, but that's been his go-to kind of punch-out pitch today. And as you said, Peter, collects strikeout number 5 on the day here so far.
Left-handed throwing, but right-handed hitting catcher Kyle Bowers, the 32-year-old from Toronto. And he's had a quality year for the Rangers. .357 coming in, 4 doubles, 19 runs batted in. How he'd love a hit in this spot.
Always a steady defender, but, you know, you always get a little bit of offense out of Kyle too, but, you know, it's his work with the pitching staff that really shines through when he's in the lineup.
Grounded into a inning-ending double play in the second. Here, there's 2 out. And Dow wanted that 0-2 pitch. Home plate umpire is Graham Grider from Alberta, Peter Sereau from Manitoba, and Sean Schaefer of Ontario are our other umpires in the crew today. Superb slider. Double S for another K, and an important one. Etobicoke on the board, but it's only one. They were hoping for more. They trail 4-1 after 4 on day number 1 of the Canadian Senior Men's Baseball Championships in Regina. Etobicoke Rangers score 1 in the bottom of the 4th. Could have been more, but Hayden Dow, Dan, with a couple of great strikeouts on that out pitch for him, which is the slider, to get the job done and get himself out of trouble.
Absolutely. And I mean, that was, the first kind of big inning that Etobicoke was kind of lining up there and was able to get one across, which is a start. You definitely, it kind of stings leaving the pair of runners on base, but we'll see now if Andrew Hyde can continue his dominance here as he's kind of settled in after a rough first inning and been working pretty well here as of the last few innings.
All 10 teams involved in this Canadian Championship will play 4 round-robin games. Teams are split into 2 pools of 5, and top 3 in each group make it to the playoffs. If you finish first, it's a wonderful place to be because you earn a berth into the semifinals directly. And then there's crossovers. Off the bat of Cormier, Ferracuti. One away is Andrew Hyde, the starting pitcher, after a rough top of the first, has absolutely settled in. He's now retired the last 6 consecutive batters he has faced.
We get a look at that play there from Ferracuti. Nice pickup at shortstop and on to first baseman Ryan Panis for the first out here in the top of the 5th inning.
And on the topic of top, the batter in the top of the batting order is Simon Dubois. Grounded out to short, grounded out to the pitcher. He's 0 for 2 in the game. A .438 hitter back home in league play. Looking for his first hit of these Canadian Championships.
In this game, the only action going on right now is the action at Optimist Park picks back up at 4 p.m. with a game over there. So for now, we're the only action in town. The 4 p.m. game at Optimist. We'll see Team Ontario number 1, the Leaside Leafs, taking on Team Alberta.
Alberta made up primarily of players who play for the Calgary Rockies.
That's correct.
Who won the Sunburst League last year to earn a trip to Regina in 2025. They were unable to defend their Sunburst League title.
Yeah, a little bit of a run there by the Calgary Diamondbacks at the end of the year. They both ended up tied in the standings, but the Diamondbacks ended up advancing to the playoffs based on the head-to-head tiebreakers. So, unfortunately, they didn't make it to the playoffs this year.
Breaking ball from Hyde, but it's pulled down the right field line. It'll be extra bases for Simon Dubois, who has a double and his first hit of the Canadian Senior Men's Championships.
Good job by Dubois there as he's going to go back and drop off his elbow pad and pick up his helmet, but keeps the hands back on that one, drives it down into the right field corner, and as you see there, goes for a run and in standing up safely at second base, and the Islanders have a one-out base runner here in the top of the 5th.
Dubois has 3 doubles during league play, and now is his first hit and first extra base hit here in Regina. Jack Kraft walked and scored and struck out.
The tail on that fastball just misses the corner, though.
That'd be a 4-seamer or a 2-seamer?
I would say that would be a 4-seamer, something that's tailing away like that.
That's what I thought you were going to come back with, and would have been my guess. Back in the day, we didn't talk much about 4 seams and 2 seams, and there's a lot of different pitches and terminology in 2025. One has to stay up with it, but it is very different.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at someone like Chris Bassett in the MLB who has 7 or 8 different pitches that he throws, and certainly been the invention of a few different names of pitches now.
A walk for Kraft. And after retiring 6 in a row, of course, maybe the broadcaster curse, the double and the walk yielded by starting pitcher Andrew Hyde.
I mean, you have Max Grant coming to the plate here, obviously a threat, but I mean, not the worst thing in that walk there, because now you do set up the double play again in the middle infield here, so you have that that opportunity that can happen as well. But obviously a very dangerous hitter here with Grant, who's already put one in the middle of the hill out there in right field already.
Chopper, Panis has one play, and that's to go underhand to the covering pitcher, Hyde, for an out. Well done on both fronts.
Absolutely. We talk about PFPs with pitchers, and you see Hyde takes right off of the bag already. Good play there by Panis to snag that one. Hyde able to get to the bag in time just before Grant. We have runners at second and third here now for the Island, with Nick McPhail coming to the plate and 2 outs.
Nick McPhail has tripled today and grounded out to second. The triple came in the 4-run top of the first. He followed up the Max Grant 2-run homer with a triple of his own. This one high in the air, and you know the wind's going to play around with it. Didn't seem to bother Alex Thrower one iota.
No, great defensive play there by Thrower, probably one of the better defensive center fielders in Ontario, and he's able to make that catch to retire the side.
So Andrew Hyde was in some trouble, worked his way out of it. It remains 4-1 New Brunswick here at Curry Field in Regina on day one of the Canadian Senior Men's Baseball Championships. Mark Capone has one of the 6 Etobicoke Rangers base hits, but they've only been able to turn those 6 hits into 1 run off of Hayden Dow in New Brunswick and continue to trail by 3. See if that run in the 4th acts as a bit of a springboard, and it had an opportunity in the last half inning batting to be more than just 1 for Etobicoke.
Absolutely, and I mean, at this point, you know, we're into the bottom of the 5th of this game now, and you want to be able to take advantage of those situations. So definitely one of those things right now where they kind of have to lock in offensively and see what they can get going here as Capone takes that slider on the inside corner for strike 2.
The left-handed Dow giving up 6 hits. He also has 6 strikeouts. And Capone, the fine hitter that he is, fouls that pitch off to give himself another opportunity. Had a base hit right back up the box in his only time at home plate today. Can't quite catch up to the fastball. A 3rd consecutive strikeout for Hayden Dow, and not difficult to understand why he has 80 strikeouts in league play in 48 2/3 innings.
No, Hayden, one of the better power pitchers in the New Brunswick Senior League, and obviously showing why here today as he collects his 7th strikeout of the game.
Alex Thrower has a single and then grounded into an somewhat odd 4 unassisted to 3 double play, where Justin Cormier did his best line dancing impression. Little tip tap around, find the bag, spin, and throw just in time to first.
Good pitch there from Dow. That just misses the inside corner for ball 1.
Gets the sign and delivers.
Thrower looking to try and get something going here for Team Ontario 2 in the bottom of the 5th inning. We get to the latter innings of this one. 4-1 New Brunswick right now.
A foul away by Alex, the older of the 2 Thrower brothers. He's 30. Brother Eric is 27 on deck. Make it 4 strikeouts in a row.
Alex not happy with that one. We'll have a look here on the replay, but that looked like it had some serious movement on it. They got back over the inside part of the plate.
Did he think it was a little high?
I don't think he thought it was high. That's a pretty good looking pitch right there. Back in over the inside corner.
Almost buckled him.
A little bit, yeah.
Never enjoyed that as a hitter.
No, those are tough pitches. It looks like it's coming at you, and then all of a sudden it's not.
Well, with 2 out, Eric Thrower has his first base hit of these Canadian championships as he just found the hole between Max Grant and shortstop Justin Cormier to keep the inning alive. And I think we have a pinch hitter coming into the game.
Looks like it's going to be Daniel Murphy taking some swings here for first baseman Ryan Panis.
The 35-year-old from Etobicoke. 329 on the year is what I have him at, and another block by McLaren.
He's been having quite the afternoon behind the dish defensively, and certainly gives a pitcher a lot of confidence, and I can attest to this doing a bunch of pitching that, when you have that slider like Hayden Dow's been throwing today and you happen to let one get away from you and it goes in the dirt, that you get that confidence that that catcher's going to be there to help you out.
So Murphy mentioned the 329 batting average, 12 runs batted in. Everybody in the New Brunswick dugout wanted that pitch.
Close. Looked like you might have just missed the outside corner there, but certainly handy.
Daniel Murphy, the pinch hitter, in on his hands, fights it off. Great inside out or outside in swing. And he's singled, and now there's runners at the corners all of a sudden with 2 out. That is a great piece of hitting.
Absolutely. Good inside out swing there. It takes that inside pitch and drives it to right field just past the first baseman, the first baseman Josh Myers. And just like that, again, we're back in business here for the Rangers. 2 outs, but runners at the corners. And again, we talk about situational hitting now. Who's going to be that guy for the Rangers that's going to step up here and kind of deliver that hit that's going to break things open and kind of give them that momentum here.
Well, they might have the right guy at the plate. Bisser's 2 for 2 and takes strike 1.
Bisser, the designated hitter today.
He's going to stay there if this continues. And make it 3 for 3. They're going to send the runner, and he is out by a mile. Good, strong throw in from Duncan Pickett, but all I had to do was look at the third base coach to go, I didn't want to bring you.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an ill-advised play there by Murphy as he's out by a long shot, and you see kind of the disdain there from head coach John Ferracuti, but the single does score a run, makes the score 4-2 after 5 complete innings here. We'll take a short break and be right back.
Duncan Pickett, who made a strong throw to third to get Daniel Murphy, and that is a excellent play over at first base to deal with that late high hop for out number one to get Pickett's.
Absolutely, a little bit of a wicked bounce at the end of that one, but good play there, and I believe we do have a new first baseman in for
we do
for
indeed.
Etobicoke this inning. I believe it's Noah Case. So good
It
play
is.
there by Case. Keep that one in front. Retire Pickett's for the first out here in the top
Hyde
of the sixth.
has gone the distance, given up the 4 runs, all of them in the top of the first. He's put up nothing but zeros ever since, and his team has crawled back with a couple. Ferracuti to not quite get Logan McDougall. And it'll be an error on the pretty sure-handed shortstop.
That's a tough play. I mean, you're just into the game, just like that. The baseball, you know the baseball is going to find you being at first base, but that throw just scoots under the glove of Noah Case there on the low throw from Ferracuti. So Logan McDougall going to reach on the air, and that's going to bring up Josh Myers now.
I wonder if that's charged to the first baseman or the short. I would think it would have to be the shortstop.
I would think so. I'd be on the throw there for the air, absolutely.
Anytime a ball's in the dirt, you can't really blame the person at first. I got to tell you, our public address announcer here is doing a superb job.
Absolutely.
She directs traffic. She looks after everything. I love it. And it makes our job easier too, which I don't mind either. So we do have a pinch runner for Logan McDougall.
We know it's number 22, but unfortunately on the PEI card that I got, it didn't have numbers for the substitutions.
Okay, that's not ideal. That is helpful if you're wearing green. And a base hit off the bat of Josh Myers, who has his first hit of these Canadian championships. So no one out, or make that one out. It's not up on the scoreboard. And a visit to the mound, and Andrew Hyde. Ryan McIsaac is the pinch runner. The 27-year-old from Charlottetown, at least that's who I have as number 22.
That's correct. McIsaac is the pinch runner there. So he stands at second base right now. So Coach Naeem Sadiq going to make his way back to the bench after the visit to the pitcher's mound. So Hyde going to remain in this game for now. We do have some action down in the bullpen right now for Etobicoke.
And it hits Cole McLaren. We were joking a little bit about an ice box. Cole McLaren, when this day is over, is going to need to sit in one. Between blocking balls behind home plate and now a little kerplunk to load the bases in the 6th inning.
I believe in the bullpen, even though it's the wrong number, I do believe it's number 15, although he's listed as number 11 on the card, Adam Robertson.
Cormier, Boato seals the throw. And it's going to score a couple. When just for a second, it had the opportunity to be an inning-ending double play. Boato does so well, Dan, with the first part.
Absolutely, and you see on that second play there, didn't think he realized he had a little more time than he needed there, but sails that throw over to first base over the head of Noah Case, and that's going to be the end of the day for Andrew Hyde as he makes his way to the bench now.
And we'll bring in a new pitcher. So Andrew Hyde's day has come to an end. We mentioned earlier about your ability to keep errors to a minimum.
Yes.
Can go so far in determining how you do in tournaments like this one.
Absolutely, and I mean that's, no slight there. That's a tough play to make, and you step on third and you're that close to an inning-ending double play, and an overthrow at first ends up costing 2 runs there, as it costs your starting pitcher his time on the mound now as he's done for the day. And as we said before, left-hander Adam Robertson, who's a pickup from the Waterloo Tigers of the Copa Major Baseball League, going to make his way into warm up in this one now.
Well, Dan doesn't have enough to do with his great website refereeing basketball, and then during the week it's like, hey Dan, who's this guy? Where did he play? Hey Dan, where's this guy? Where did he play? Because you get the rosters, but it doesn't say what team, so if they don't show up, they're from somewhere else.
That's right.
You just don't always know. But yes, the product of Kitchener, 1-1 for those Waterloo Tigers in 31 1/3 innings of work. Had 30 strikeouts, walked 23. And not a comfortable situation to come into. His team now trailing 6-2, and runners at the corners. Feel bad for Boato. That was such a great play to get to that ball in the first place. It could have shot down the line quite easily.
Yeah. Okay, so we do have the score adjusted. So 5-2 is correct, as the first runner was out at third base when he did step on the bag. So I was trying to get my scorebooks figured out here, but I think we're good now. Cole McLaren, the runner at third, Justin Cormier, the runner at first, and leadoff man Simon Dubois, who gets hit in the ankle by a pitch, going to make his way to first now.
And it would be a number change for Robertson, who is wearing 15, which I will note in the very warm iPad. My phone, by the way, is on fire, and now in a position where it can cool off, so it's out of commission. Remember the days when that didn't matter? and we didn't have any of this stuff.
Yes, that is true.
But we managed well.
Yeah.
I think. Seemed like we did.
I've now hidden all my equipment in the corner away from me here, but it's all in the shade.
I know. I saw. I saw the process. Very smart, by the way. Which I'm not always known for. Now it's the turn of catcher Bowers to make a very important block of his own. With the bases loaded after Dubois was hit by a pitch.
You have to think this is a key point in this game right now with, bases loaded here for Team New Brunswick. That one's fouled back into the netting by Jack Kraft, and, one big hit here breaks this one open, Peter, and, 5-2 and 8-2 are two different things here, and, right now we're in the 6th inning of this one, so Adam Robertson with a big job to do here for Etobicoke.
Critical at bat. Kraft took a big hack at it, but missed, and Robertson comes in. He did hit a batter, but with the bases loaded, keeps his team in it with a strikeout of Jack Kraft. On that note, I could use a little Kraft dinner. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th here on IKS. You're watching the Canadian Senior Men's Baseball Championship from Regina. Two important runs, or is it just now they have just one run up?
Yeah, it was just one.
It was just one?
Yeah, I think they thought that the first runner at third, he didn't tag the bag, so they had two up on the board,
right.
But now they've corrected
well, guess
that.
what? They weren't alone. I thought so too. So 5-2. 5-2, not 6-2. But yes.
I think they even fooled Clark. He has all those TVs to look at.
Yeah, he's got 27 TVs and that great IKS truck.
It's okay, we got him.
Which, by the way, they have done a wonderful job on our crew.
Absolutely.
Here on day one.
Fantastic. Just
terrific, everybody. We thank you for your work, and I know that the TV trailer has, it's been literally shaken up a little bit out there at times with a strong wind that has been blowing most of the day here in Regina.
I think our boys in there were a little bit worried a little bit earlier. Thought they were going to take off, but it seems like the wind's calming down a little bit. You still see the flags moving out there, but
I'm going to tell you a little story. If that thing leaves the ground, I won't be beside you anymore. Grant, and a nice pick by McPhail to get Ferracuti without number one.
Good play there from youngster Max Grant. We're going to see here on the replay. Nice pickup going to his left. Good strong throw across the diamond, and always good to have a buddy to pick you up. And Nick McPhail picks that one up out of the dirt at first base. The first out here.
Yeah, I know it well. I've got some guy to the right of me that's been doing a lot of picking up. Boato, the third baseman, trying to stretch out that right arm as he resets the batting gloves. Boato has a base hit, and he also reached on an error.
We do have some action down in the Team New Brunswick bullpen, as it looks like right-hander Nathan Van Putten has got up to start to throw. So Dow working into the bottom of the sixth here right now, has been on cruise control here pretty much for the good part of the day. Rangers do have a pair of runs off him, but
to his credit, though, has come up with some masterful work when he's needed it the most.
absolutely. It's always good to get those big strikeouts, those big outs. Certainly keeps the team from getting back into a game in a hurry.
Because Etobicoke has left their fair share of runners on base in the game, especially in the last couple of innings. It was pretty much smooth sailing, but even in the first, they left runners at second and third. Boato will test Cormier, the spin and the throw to get Boato, who looked like he's shaken up, flexing out his left knee after the fine effort of Justin Cormier.
So we'll have another look at Corms' play here. Ground ball to shortstop. Again, has to range up the middle. Nice leaping play there. A good stretch and throw to first. And able to get Boato there by about a step.
And a strike to Dan Francischetti. Wonder if he's any relation to Lou.
I'm not sure about.
Former NHLer, who I'm pretty sure is from the Toronto area.
I think he does. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure he does have some ties to a few folks that played in the NHL.
It's not a common name.
No.
Now, maybe it is in Rome, but
Yeah, tough so far. 6 left on base by the Rangers so far in this one. I believe 4 of those in scoring position.
it's exactly what I have on my scorecard as well. So 2 out. Here in the bottom of the 6th, this is going to be, well, I thought at first it was going to be more of a difficult play, but guess what caught the ball? The wind.
Yeah.
And it allowed McPhail to make the play. 3 up, 3 down. And New Brunswick closing in on their first win of the Canadian Senior Men's Baseball Championships in Regina.
Hey guys, Donnie with Extreme Hockey and Umbrella Marketing Solutions. Really excited to throw this video that we have partnered with the National Baseball Championships that are hosted in Regina. As you know, we love getting behind our community and supporting these kind of events. This is just an absolute honor to be a part of this championship.
Stop in at 1425 McIntyre Street in Regina. We will have sales on all weekend. I will also be kicking around at the event for a few days, so if you have any questions about team, corporate gear, pull me aside and let's have a chat.
A 5-2 New Brunswick lead, opening game for both these teams, leading the Etobicoke Rangers. A 4-run top of the first. Dan Esty has paved the way to this point, and some pretty fine work from left-hander Hayden Dow hasn't hurt the cause either.
Absolutely. Always tough to fall behind in one of these games early, but give Etobicoke credit. They've been trying to chip away. They got a couple of runs off Dow and currently trail by 3 now as we enter the top of the last inning here.
They have had their chances. This could be a very different game.
Absolutely. Max
Grant started it all for New Brunswick with a 2-run bomb in the top of the first. Dan has mentioned, and he was so correct, went halfway up that hill behind the right field fence. Adam Robertson on in relief, came in the last inning to replace the starter Andrew Hyde, who went, I believe, 5 1/3 before he gave way.
Do have a defensive replacement. I know, Peter, you made mention watching Boato run to first last inning. Looked like he might have come up a little bit sore there in the knee and leg area. So Pip Murray-Smith has taken over at third base this inning for Team Ontario 2.
Got number 9 over there. 37 years young. Oh, how I would love to be 37 years young again.
Pip, a former teammate of mine in Arundel, as that ball gets laced to left.
Oh, how about that attempt? I thought he caught it for a second. Great diving try by Eric Thrower. And hard to see from our vantage point because of the glare coming into the booth. Even hard to see our monitor right now as a result.
Looks like it just got him off the heel of the glove and just drops in there. So I'm going to have to think with the diving play that will get scored a hit.
Yeah, by the way, I have never been on the train of, in fact, it's one of my pet peeves. This, if you can touch it with your glove, it could be an error.
Yeah.
That hasn't sat well with me since I was about 7, and I'm not 7 anymore.
Right.
There's no way that can go as anything but a double. So Max Grant having himself a nice day. He's been on base 3 times, a 2-run homer in the first, and now a double in the 7th. Nick McPhail, the batter, started as the DH, but certainly believe he's gone into the game at first base, and he's been there for a couple innings.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Josh Myers started the game at first.
I'm not sure. I guess we had a change in there somewhere that we might have missed.
Robertson maybe tried to overthrow that pitch. Release point not where he wanted it. And if you're a Etobicoke, might be too late potentially already, but you don't want another one coming in here. Breaking ball. Ferracuti, and a nice pickup by Noah Case, who came into the game when Ryan Panis was pinch hit for. Nice work by Case over at first.
Yeah, good pickup there by Ferracuti. Comes in and gets it on the short hop. No chance of getting that runner at third. There was a pretty slow roller there, but lots of time to get the runner McPhail at first as that ball picked up there by first baseman Noah Case.
Duncan Pickett's the batter, the right fielder, who made a key defensive play, throwing out. Base runner trying to go from first to third, which all of a sudden, Dan,
it's looming pretty large
in
right
its
now.
own way. That's one of the plays of this game.
Unfortunate play there, but yeah, that's, you know, kind of sticking out right now. That could have been a big inning there for the Rangers, and unfortunately kind of snuffed out a little bit of a rally there.
Yeah, Daniel Murphy did a great job pinch hitting. He drove in a run. This one hit high and deep, bounces off the wall. Extra base hit for Duncan Pickett's, and a run batted in. And New Brunswick extends its advantage to 6-2.
Good piece of hitting there from Pickett's as he takes that little slider, stays with it, hits it the other way, and that one was within inches of getting out of the park there. Short hop the warning track and hit the top of the wall to stay in the park. So RBI there for Pickett's. That extends the Team New Brunswick lead now to 6-2.
And with this very strong wind blowing hard to left, center, and left, you get a ball up in the air, it can carry a long way, and that's exactly what Pickett's did.
It was funny for anyone watching the home run derby last night. It was pretty much the opposite. There were some guys that were hitting some baseballs hard to left field. And, just like, what a difference a day makes. Wind turns around a little bit, and now we've had a few balls leaving the park and a couple of close calls as well.
Duncan Pickett's had 2 doubles at last year's Canadian Championship and 3 runs batted in. He has his first double, and climbing the ladder is Capone, and the runner fell. Pickett's fell, and as a result, an inning-ending double play. I think Mark Capone might be able to play in this tournament when he's 52, not 42.
Great
Look at
play
him climb the ladder.
What a jump there, and yeah, just kind of caught the runner leaning, and he falls down, and it's a pretty easy inning-ending double play there for the Etobicoke Rangers.
However, New Brunswick scores another run. 6-2, they'll look to close it out, and when we come back, we'll tell you who the new pitcher is. You're watching the Canadian Senior Men's Baseball Championship from Curry Field in Regina. New pitcher Hayden Dow gives New Brunswick a terrific 6 innings. Did give up a couple of runs, ended up with, I believe his final total was 8 strikeouts. And we have a pinch hitter to face the new pitcher, who is Nathan Van Putten, the 25-year-old, and delivers a strike to Tanner Young Schultz, who's from Toronto. Did he check in time? They didn't even ask. He thought he did. Home plate umpire Graham Greider from Alberta said, I don't even need to go over to third. A fastball in. And Tanner Young Schultz, with his team now trailing by 4. Opening game for both these teams. Breaking ball on the ground. There's nothing I like more than a well-picked up ground ball. Take it in the middle of your body, come up with your hands, make the throw.
That's the defensive replacement for Charlottetown in this inning. Ryan McIsaac, who makes the play there, on to McPhail at first, and Tanner Young Schultz is down for the first out here in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, that all happened when he came into the game to run for Logan McDougall, stayed in the game. McPhail ended up in the game.
He went to first. Yep. I believe Max is that shortstop now, Max Grant.
Yes, that is not Max at third anymore. He is the shortstop. And there's one away. That I can confirm. Can also confirm that this is Mark Capone. McIsaac, 2 away. So Van Putten comes on. Hayden Dow had a terrific game. Going to be an easy time to pick player of the game in this one, but there's some good candidates. Just to throw in my own 2 cents, which I'm always prone to do. The pitcher and Max Grant would probably be right at the top of the pecking order.
I would say you're correct there.
You have the only vote that matters.
Now we're a team up here. Come on.
No, I completely agree. Enjoying the daylights out of it. McIsaac off of his glove in the hole, and Alex Thrower has his second base hit of the afternoon. Is this proud Etobicoke team? You knew they wouldn't go down easily. Oh. So 2 away. Down by 4. And New Brunswick made up mostly of Charlottetown Islanders. Trying to put away their first win and move a little closer to the playoffs. 0-1 Quebec, and our first look at Team British Columbia, represented by a lot of Victoria Mavericks. That one slated for 4 o'clock. Unless Etobicoke is a big comeback in them here.
Good fastball from Van Putten, runs in on the hands. Nathan having a good year, also plays for the Moncton Mets of the New Brunswick Senior Baseball League.
I think he's originally from Ontario.
Yes, Nathan did some pitching at Carleton University, actually, in the OUA.
Well, he's 1 strike away. And there's the strike he and New Brunswick were looking for. So Nathan Van Putten gives up a base hit, ends the game with a strikeout. Hayden Dow, terrific on the mound. And Max Grant, a key contributor. New Brunswick 1-0. The Etobicoke Rangers start the round robin with a 6-2 setback. We'll be back with a post-game interview or two. You're watching from Curry Field in Regina on IKS.
Welcome down to field level here. We have with me here Max Grant, as well as starting pitcher Hayden Dow from Team New Brunswick. Hayden, I'll start with you first. Great 6 innings on the mound today to collect the win. 2 runs given up to a very tough Team Ontario number 2. Walk me through your preparation for this one and what you did to get ready.
Not a whole lot different than I normally do. Really, it's a bigger stage than playing back home, but just tried to give the guys a shot here today, and big one to get game 1.
Watching you pitch, and sitting behind the mound, having a pretty good look, it looked like your slider was kind of your go-to today. 8 strikeouts in the game. What of a scouting report on the other team, or is that just a pitch that you're comfortable with and worked well with today?
I'm comfortable with all 3 of my pitches. Today the slider worked. Their approach, it kind of looked like the slider was the pitch to get them with, so went a little heavier with that today.
Absolutely. Over to the offensive side things of now, I have Max Grant with me. Max, great day at the dish, 2 for 3. I had that big home run to get things going in the first. Added a double on with a pair of RBIs. Walk me through your game today.
It's always nice to get off to a good start. Getting those 4 runs in the first was huge, and then knowing Dow's out there kind of survive, and bats kind of went quiet throughout the middle, but Dow kind of held it down for us.
I know you guys had a little bit of an adventure getting here to this year's tournament. Kind of wiggled and swerved all over the map, but it didn't look like that affected too much today. You get a little bit of a break now, so we'll let you guys get back over to your team now. I know you have a pitcher coming up, but congratulations to you both on a great job. That's it for us from down here on the field level. 6-2 final score here. Team New Brunswick takes down Team Ontario 2. Peter, back to you in the booth.
Thank you so much, Dan. And yes, indeed, those 2 gentlemen were big contributors in New Brunswick, represented mostly by players from PEI and the PEI Islanders. Nathan Van Putten put the finishing touches on a 6-2 win. For our entire crew, I'm Peter Loubardias. So long for now. Join us again at 4:05 when 0-1 Team Quebec takes on British Columbia, who will make their championship debut.